Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of DesignTech. And in today's episode, we are going to be setting up a wheat farm. We've got a wheat farm back at our starter base over there, but it's not a very good one. It's relatively slow. It's basically just a vanilla wheat farm that gets harvested automatically, so it's not that great, and I don't know if it's even chunk loaded all the time. So we are going to set up something a bit better, and I've got some plans. So I've been doing a little bit of work. I set up our ME system to process apatite ore, which is something that we get a lot of, and have a lot of from our ender quarry that did a whole bunch of stuff. So if we look at apatite, we're like 125,000 apatite right now, and we're still processing another 9,000 apatite ore, which turns into something like 36 apatite per ore. So we're going to have quite a bit more of that as well. And that can be used to make fertilizer. So if we go in here and we look at crafting, and we go, oh, let's change this. Here we go. And we put sand and apatite. That will make 8 fertilizer. And we're going to turn that into a pattern. Okay. Then we'll throw that into one of these that we don't want to have, that basically doesn't have a whole lot of other stuff in it. Let's maybe dedicate this one just to apatite ore, and then I'll kind of redistribute these other patterns into other places, like so. There we go. So this guy is dedicated just to, or I said apatite ore. I meant to say fertilizer, okay? Now, we need to make sure that the ME system maintains a certain level of apatite ore at all times. So I want to go ahead and make an ME interface, like so. And then I'm going to need a storage bus and a crafting card. Oh, don't have all the things for that. There we go. Let's throw those in, and let's just make a crafting bench real quick. There we go. And that gives us the crafting card. Okay. So that's all good, and then last but not least, I need to grab just a little bit of ME cable, and we'll just hook this guy up. Let's see, this is only using 6. I don't really want to use it on this though. How many channels does this thing have? Just, it should only be a couple. Why don't we hook this thing up right here? Yeah. And we'll put a storage bus there and another one here. Okay. And then in here, we will put a crafting card. Okay. Now, I need to request a decent amount of fertilizer. Let's request, let's see here. Let's request 1,000 to get started with. Actually, no. Let's request 100 to get started with. Just temporarily, just for the minute. And that should process pretty quickly. So if we look at fertilizer, there we go. We got a decent amount of it. And then into here, we're going to put this fertilizer, and we should see it crafts a bunch of fertilizer pretty quickly. Since this has a storage bus on it, you'll see 64 fertilizer in there. And what we'll do is we'll basically just fill up this whole thing with fertilizer. And what that should do is that means that at all times, our ME system should keep at least 512 fertilizer in it. Okay? Because we're going to need that for our farm that we're going to set up. So the next thing we need to do is actually set up the farm itself, and I think for that I need to clear out a room. I'm not really sure where I want to put it though, so let me get that figured out and then I'll come back to you. Alright guys, I am back. So I've cleared out a decent-sized area here. We've got, this is essentially a 9x9 farm right here, and that should be plenty big for what we're going to be doing here. That should suffice. The farm itself is only going to be 9x9, but we'll be basically bone mealing everything automatically using a fertilizer, and using that fertilizer that we are producing now as well. So it should work out. I'm going to go ahead and just mark this. Let's just grab a redstone block. And I'm just going to mark that as the center of the farm, just so I know that's where it goes, okay? So that's easy enough. Now, what I want to do is I want to take some dirt. There we go. Need a couple stacks of that. And we're just going to go like this and spread it all out, okay? Pretty easy. There we go. And then I thought I had my builder's wand. Good. And we'll just put that in here. And then we can go ahead and break that out. Okay. So there's that part of it done. Now, this obviously is not a great look for a room, so we'll fix that as well. But we're going to do that after we get the functional bits of it in place. So we're going to have a planter that sits right here. This right in the middle is going to be water, okay? So what we're going to have to do, actually, let's put that back. And let's hammer that instead, because I'm going to need some space and stuff down here to work with, so we can wire everything up and all that kind of good stuff. So right here, I think, or maybe we'll do it on the sides. We'll do one here and one here on the side. Ooh, actually, we could have two fertilizers. That could be kind of cool. We have one here, then we have our harvester here, and then down here, maybe we'll even have two harvesters. Two harvesters, two fertilizers, and then our planter. Yeah, I like that idea. Okay, so let's go ahead and just clear out some space here. And we basically just, oh, wow, that was terrible. What am I doing? Let's put these back where they belong. There we go. There's our center. Okay. Like that, and then right here. Okay, so everything will ultimately connect up to a thing right here in the middle. We're going to grab ourselves a tesseract for that. And we'll just plop that guy down right here. That should be fine. And then I'm just going to put a torch in each of those corners like this, just to kind of light this up so we can kind of see what we're doing. I know that YouTube darkens stuff and sometimes makes things hard to see. Okay, so that part is done. Now we need our planter, which is, I need some sort of like a temporary block here. And actually, I probably shouldn't use dirt, because dirt looks just like everything else. There we go. Let's do that instead. We'll put our planter here. And then actually, let me go make another harvester and another planter. So we'll go harvester. And if I remember correctly, yep, that needs a shears. So we'll make one of those. And then planter. And I'll need to make 2 flower pots. And I think, yep, there we go. Got everything we need for that. Awesome. So, oh, why did I make a planter? I meant to make a fertilizer. That was dumb of me. I don't know why I did that. Oh, man. Okay, here we go. Now we should have everything we need. So we'll take those, and we'll put let's see. I'm thinking our fertilizers here. Let's actually make sure they're facing that way. Let's put our harvesters here and here. And then our fertilizers here and here. Now, all this stuff has a default radius of 3 by 3. Oh, is that getting, that's getting power. Oh, it's probably getting power from the wireless transmitter over there. Are these all getting power? Oh, sure enough they are. Fantastic. That means I probably don't even need to wire these things up. That's awesome. I might just get another wireless charger in that case. That's pretty cool. I mean, I'll have to wire up certain things. I'll have to wire up, like, you know, the item conduits and stuff like that, but that's basically it. I will also need a sludge boiler down here, come to think of it. So let's break this stuff up as well. Let's go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be down far enough where I don't really need to worry about anything. And one more. There we go. And we'll just do that. And then let's just go like so. And like so. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one's good. And this one still needs it as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 1 too far. There we go. Now those are going to be used to grab the fluids out of the harvester. Actually, I really only need them on the harvester, don't I? I don't really need them on the fertilizer side. I don't know why I did that. That was kind of dumb of me. We'll just patch those guys back up. There we go. So we'll have sludge that'll be coming down from underneath this guy and into our sludge boiler that's going to go down here. So let's just see. Do I actually have a sludge boiler made? I do not. So let me run and make that. And then let me see about getting some of this stuff wired up, and I'll be back with you in just a sec. All right, guys, I am back, and I think I've got it all wired up. So let me kind of show you what's going on here. Essentially, we've got fluid conduits. I also switched the harvesters around. So the harvesters are now on the side, and the fertilizers are in the front and the back. That's because there's no output here. So coming from the harvesters on both sides, we have item conduits feeding into the Tesseract, and fluid conduits feeding into the sludge boiler, which also feeds into the Tesseract. And the sludge boiler receives power from this conduit from the Tesseract as well. Okay, now the fertilizers are hooked up to the ME system, as is the planter, and there's an export bus filled with acceleration cards. This one we're going to put seeds. These two, we're going to put the fertilizer. So essentially, these things should pretty much automatically fill up with fertilizer and do their thing. Now, each of these has a base 3 by 3 area, okay? So we need each of these to have a increase of 3 for their diameter. So we're going to need to make ourselves some upgrades, and I believe those are tin upgrades off the top of my head. Let's just see. Lapis. Iron upgrades. Okay, so we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those guys, I believe. And then we'll just double check. Let me grab my precision sledgehammer. There we go. Because obviously we want this whole thing to work properly. So if I put this in here, good. And then we put one of those in there, also good. And one of those in here. Okay, so that'll work. So we want iron upgrades in all of these. That way the whole field is one big area. Everything matches up properly. So that's all good. Now, basically all we needed is to decorate the room and put the stuff in here. So let's grab a little bit of fertilizer. Just one should do it. And then a seed as well for wheat. So in here, we're going to put fertilizer like that. And this thing should start filling up relatively quickly with fertilizer. And we'll put fertilizer in here as well. And now, if we look in our ME system, we're going to see this is decreasing and increasing and decreasing and increasing. And that's because this will keep filling up and then it will automatically craft more. That's why we did that step first. Okay, now we'll go down below and into this export bus, we will put seeds. So we're going to see this thing start filling up with seeds. Pretty quick anyway. There we go. And they'll all get planted. The fertilizers will do their thing and basically fertilize everything. Oh, are you now you don't want to work? Now you don't want to have enough power to do your thing? Is that how it's going to be? Okay. Well, in that case, looks like I am going to have to hook up some energy conduits to these guys after all. I was hoping not to have to do that, and that the wireless charger would take care of it, but it seems as though that is not going to be the case, which is a little bit annoying, I must confess. There. So let's run, oh, there we go. Let's run energy conduits up like so, and down like this as well. We'll just run them straight into the Tesseract, and then we're gonna have to do the same for these guys as well, which is too bad. I was really hoping not to have to use energy conduits on these guys, but it appears that I really don't have an option to do otherwise. So that's a pity. Yeah. Oh well. We'll do that. That should hook those up. Why are you just like randomly chilling right there? That's not what I want you to be doing. That's okay. Maybe we can cover up these energy conduits with some facades or something like that when we design the room. We'll put that there. And then this guy will also come across. Okay. So, now... Oh, and our planter probably needs power as well. There we go. Okay. Everything should now have power. It should grow relatively quickly. The planters should all do their thing. Should be good. Yeah, should be good. Okay, so now we need to decorate the room and make it look pretty. So, let me grab some things for that. Let me play around with a couple design ideas, and I'll come back to you shortly. Alright guys, I am back, and I'm just finishing up the room here. So we're going to put conduit facades down below. That should work. And everything should basically be working here as far as I can tell. I do need to get a bit of a roof. Whoa, hey, not what I wanted to do there. That was the FTB Utilities button. I do want to go ahead and get a roof in here like this, and I'm definitely going to need more of these. So let's just grab a few and chisel those up right quick. There we go. That ought to be enough. And then we'll just builder's wand those across to there. I'm not using all of the space that I dug out, which is fine. There's a magnum torch that's relatively nearby, so nothing's going to spawn up there. But this is basically what the room looks like, and I think that's pretty good. And then what we'll do is we'll take some glass. I don't don't know if I want to use reactor glass again like we did for our mining laser. I'm kind of leaning towards this quartz glass, honestly. It looks really good. It's a little expensive, but I mean, we do have a lot of resources, so I'm thinking maybe we'll do something like that, and then that gives us this farm, which works amazingly well. I mean, I don't know how much wheat we had before, but we're already up over 2,000. I want to say we had like 1,200 wheat before. So it's doing some work. It's doing its thing. Everything seems to be working well. And unfortunately, guys, I am out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do appreciate it, and it really helps out my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. There are links in the video description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you next time.